All right, so can you get me now? Is it perfect now? Is it perfect
Yes,
at
I
your
can.
end? I don't know why the
I can
network is
get you.
just like this today. I really cannot.
Some days are like that.
Yeah, it will. So I think we just need to see how to start up. And if we try, my first time seeing something like this bad. I have tried Wi-Fi. I've tried like it's still giving me this kind of response. Anyway, is it better at your end? Am I audible enough?
Yes, I can hear you right now, but it takes some time. You will just go off because of it. Yes, yes, yes. I can hear you. I can't hear you again. Hello, can you hear me now? Because I
Yeah, I
can't
can
hear
get
you
you.
again.
I can
Okay,
get you
better.
very well. Can you get me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So as I was saying, we'll just need to see what we can do. If it goes well, then that's good. All right. So let's start up our discussion. You were about telling us how did it come about, the whole idea, the whole plan of enrolling into nursing. How did it come about? So let's go deep into the discussion, okay? So, guys, if you are just connecting, this is our discussion on job satisfaction, and then we have with us here Nurse Blessing. She's a nurse midwife, and then she's practicing in Nigeria, and you'll get to learn from her experience if she is actually satisfied with what she is doing, and then if there is no satisfaction, we glimpse from her own experience, then she will recommend to those persons who may find passion or who may have been thinking, I want to go into nursing, or yeah, majorly nursing is what we're talking about this night. So she is going to be telling us what are the ups and downs, the dark side of nursing, and so on. We're going to be hearing some of those things. So just sit back, get yourself prepared. We know network is a bit challenging, but let's see if we can get it this time right. And if it's fine, then that's fine. So if you're here to subscribe, please do well to subscribe. And please do give this very live stream a thumbs up and comment when necessary. Yes, I'm back now.
Network is really disturbing.
Yeah, I'm back now. I don't just know what to say. Like this network at this very point, I really do not know what to say, but I'm back. Sorry, over here it's quite crazy a bit. My clients. So, but I've attended to the issue. Okay, so everywhere is calmer now. All right, we can go ahead. I think we can forge ahead as at this point, trusting God that this network will make the conversation more active than just this off and on. So, but if in the next 10 minutes it keeps on, or let's say 15 minutes keeps on like this, we'll have to reschedule, okay? So, sorry, I'm so sorry, Blessing, for keeping you up to this point and then without this network challenge. Hope you don't feel bad about it. I'm so sorry, okay?
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, so I wasn't here to get your side of the discussion, so you can go ahead now. Let's hear from.
Okay, pertaining to the question you asked, I said before that nursing has been my thing right from when I was little, and I would say that I wasn't compelled to do it. I wasn't forced to go into nursing. I wasn't talked into being a nurse. It has always been my dream. It has always been my passion. It has always been what I foresee for myself in helping humanity, putting a smile on people's face at the cost of me saving humans in the hospital or whenever they need my help in the health sector. So it has always been my dream from day one, and I tried my possible best to like push myself forward in one way or the other to become who I am today. And please, it has not been my effort because everything working together with God, all things are possible. So it has been God all the way till the very moment where I am today.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Just a quick one. Do you have anyone in family, a friend, a senior, so on that inspired you at some point, or just as you said, it was completely something that you had looked up to, and then you just went into it. Was there someone to guide you into it? Was there someone that motivated you? That at some point you looking up to that person, it's more or less built up that very motivation to go into nursing? Was there someone like that in your life?
Okay, someone in my life. When people ask me, what do you want to do then during secondary school and writing jam or picking nursing form, I would say that I want to be a nurse. And some persons around me will turn around and look at because my mom is a nurse, but she's retired right now. And they'll be thinking because my mom is a nurse, that's why I want to venture into partly my motivation because she wasn't 100% my motivation, but she contributed to being a motivation for me to save humanity through the field of nursing. Hello, can you get me? Hello, can you get me?
Sorry, I'm back. Oh. Blessing. Sorry, sorry, I'm back. It's crazy today. Like, I don't know why all this. Like, it's quite crazy. Like, what
Seriously.
can I say? What can I say at
There's
this
nothing you
point?
can do about
I
there's
have
nothing you can do
switched
about it.
network- I've switched networks and I don't even know what to do at this point again. I don't know who have suggestion for me in the comment box. So I'm still having 10 minutes more to try it. All right, go ahead. You were saying, let's see if in the next 10 minutes there's no improvement. We need to call it off, okay? So I said 15 minutes. The first 5 minutes I've tried it. It's still acting up. So let's try this time again. So I was asking, do you have someone you have always looked up to? Someone that has always been a motivation to you? Now, when you look up to this person, because I've seen it quite a number of persons, they'll be like, my aunt was a nurse, my this, my that, and so on. And then it was an inspiration to them to go into nursing. So, what was your own side of the story?
Like I said earlier,
Alongside that very desire.
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, like I said earlier, that even though my mom is a nurse, and during the time of me getting to nursing school or writing jam to become a nurse, passing through process, many persons had this thought that because my mom is a nurse, oh, you want to go after, like you want to inherit that from your mom. I would say that she's my motivation, but not 100%. Like some person will say, you look up to this person, that's why you want to continue what the person did. I would say she's a 50% motivation to me, and the other 50% is my own personal motivation, my own personal passion of becoming a nurse.
Motivation. All right.
Yes.
All right. That means you got some level of motivation into this nursing thing, and more or less, I won't be wrong if I say it was more or less your calling. Okay, I won't be wrong for saying so. Um, so let's go into it. So while in your BNSC, that's university, which of them?
Okay, I went through the school of nursing.
So for from your experience so far, when for someone who wants to pick up a career in nursing, BNSC or the schools of nursing,
It
and it's
depends.
okay,
It depends
okay.
too.
So shed a bit light on that, okay? Shed a bit light on that.
Okay, the reason why I say it depends because at my cost of going for clinical posting while I was a student nurse, because I passed through the School of Nursing here in Cross River, I could see that. Sorry to say, I don't know if anybody that went to that passed through the university. Please don't get me wrong. I could see that there are some persons, like I said, some persons that know the university, but they were not really good at the practical aspects. I'm not generalizing. I'm not saying everybody that went to university. Please, I don't want anybody to come and fight me after this. I said some persons because I saw a lot. I would say a 30% out of 100% of or 40%, yes, I went to university. They are not really firm in the practical aspect when it has to do with nursing, because nursing is, yes, you need the theoretical aspect because it's a science and an art, and you need the scientific rationale for you to work with. But some persons were not good at their practical aspect. But I could see that even people that were my junior colleagues could do certain things that some persons that are doing their internship that passed through the university couldn't do. They've written the council exam, they've graduated, that they are doing their internship, and there's some procedure that they couldn't carry out. But someone that is a year two nurse, which is my junior and I was in year three, who carry out this procedure very well and very confident in it. And another part I would say is that School of Nursing at the end will just give you a certificate, which is a registered nurse (RN). While Well, you finishing from the university, you have the advantage of getting
Can you
a
adjust your
BSc.
screen this way? Can you adjust your screen this way? It seems you have someone behind you. Can you adjust your screen this way?
Okay.
Can you adjust your screen this way? It seems you have someone behind you. Okay.
I have adjusted. So, like I was saying, and
Okay.
going to the university is also an advantage because you get to finish with a BNSC for 5 years, an RN, and if you want to do midwifery, a specialty, or public health, it can be an advantage for you. So, in the course of you finishing for that 5 years, you will get a three certificate home. So you use 5 years to like get three certificate home using one bird to kill instead of you going for a specialty, except you want to venture into another specialty. So that's an advantage also for you to go through the university, so that after the university you get to do your masters just process at once. But you going through the nursing school, you are just coming out with an RN with it's a 3 years course passing through the school of nursing. Right now, hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh,
Hello, can you hear me
I
now?
can get you. I can get you. Yeah, I got what you were saying. So that's so your recommendation would be that anyone that wish to pick a career in nursing should rather go to the university, just to boycott a lot of those processes. And from what you
Yes,
were trying to explain exactly, that they have the option to select between either becoming a registered nurse and a midwife, or registered nurse and a public health nurse, and so on. So whereas in for the school of nursing, the schools of nursing, sorry, you come out with just the registered nurse and then allowed to make options amongst the vast options, right? That's what you're saying. And then you also were talking about the aspect that for those who went to the schools of nursing, that they have greater chances and then to perform better clinical wise, whereas those persons from the university, that's in terms of the in comparison to the number of persons. So you were like giving statistics of 30 to 40%, right? So um okay, okay. So we got that. We got that. I believe from my viewers, thank you so much, Gist with Mandy, for having you here. Thank you so much, Favor the Midwife. Thank you so much. Who again was here earlier? Favor, make money with Favor. I want to appreciate every one of you. Thank you, Lizzie, for being here earlier. The network is a bit crazy at my end, but it's fine. Let's see how to forge a. I think it's becoming a bit better than earlier. All right. So I want to say I'm so glad having every one of us here. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. Okay, this means a lot to me. Now we are discussing on job satisfaction, and then we are trying to get to the opinion of different professionals on this very topic, job satisfaction. And then we hear their journeys. We'll get to glimpse from their experience, how they all started from the scratch to where they are, and then if they are finding satisfaction as in if they are finding satisfaction in what they are doing. So those are some of the things we're exploring this very night. And in this night, we have a nurse midwife with us. So just sit back and let's share with as in from our own experience. So blessing, let's forge a bit further. Let us know how was it like in your school days. What were your challenges? What were how was it? Tell us about the ups and tell us about the downs.
okay. My school days were, right now I would say it was interesting, but back then it was something that you could literally hate everything around you because it was very, very stressful. I will start by saying right from the getting the admission, writing the school of nursing exam, going for interview. Like I literally wrote the exam 3 times and I didn't get the admission. I wrote jam 3 times and also I didn't still get the admission, but I still forged ahead because it was something I had passion for, like I earlier said. And if it was something I was tucked into, something I didn't want to do, I would have be tired of doing it or tired of writing exam and said I'm giving up. But what I had passion for, I still had to try to forge ahead to become a nurse. So getting the exam, going for the interview, and my name was out. I was happy. But when you get into the environment of becoming a nurse, especially the school I went to, it hasn't been an easy one because there is this first 6 months exams that even the whole world knows that if you go into nursing, you passing through hot fire that you have to endure the hotness till when you've succeeded, or it's like you're walking on tons for you to get to the finishing line. So that has been my first challenge then in school of nursing. But right now, I could see that period, like we could take example from how gold is being made. Gold is being passed through the hotted furnace just to come out as beautiful as we see it right now. Some persons don't know how hard gold passed through the hot furnace in order to come out beautiful. Us to buy the gold rings, gold earrings, gold neck, gold chain. In my school of nursing days was like us passing through the burning furnace for us to become polyvalent nurses that we are right now. And also, you know that if you don't pass the exams, you'll be you'll be like the shame that will be. So you try your possible best to read. Some persons back then, for them to change into their uniform because they don't want their neighbors, they don't want their friends to know that they are nurses at student nurses at the moment, and somebody see you with a white uniform, and at the end of 6 months, the person will ask you, why are you no more wearing the uniform? And you tell the person I did not pass. The shame alone. So those thoughts coming through your mind, sit up to read, you have to sit up to be careful, you have to sit up not to join any group that is unserious so that you could pass that 6 month exam. So that has been one challenge. And also, School of Nursing is a place where is a no nonsense place, like I said earlier, particularly where I schooled, is where there is enough discipline and to spare, right from the principal to the lecturers, everybody. As far as you want to be a nurse, there is nobody that will take shit from you there. Right from your dressing, to make sure you dress very well, your cover shoes, your hair. As a nurse, as a student nurse, you're not even up a nurse yet though. You're being drilled like you are a nurse. So the drilling there was a 200% over 100. The discipline there in School of Nursing was a 200% over 100. You when you can misbehave when your lecturer sees you, whether in the market or in a way money, you will try to compose yourself because when you go back to school, they will open your page. I saw you so. This is how you dress. Is that how a nurse, a future nurse is going to be dressed? Is this how you're going to this how you're going to be dressing? Is this how you're going to be talking? So whenever you find yourself outside the school of nursing, outside the environment, you have to comport yourself very well because you know that you are in a training ground, and not to fail yourself or to fail the people around you or to even fail your family or to fail your sponsor or whosoever that is seeing you through this school. So far so good. That has been a challenge or a stepping stone.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. So, if I should say I got what you were saying, your first 6 months was the most challenging phase of it. So, how about your graduating period, your final year? How about that very period?
Yes, that also was a period where you need to sit up, like the beginning and the ending parts. Even the Bible said, he that putteth his hand into a plough and looketh back is not fit for the crown. So for you to put your leg into nursing school and at the end you don't pass the nursing and midwifery council exams, you are not a nurse. I could say that that is where quackery begins, because some persons that will not pass this council exam, unfortunately for them, they know the practical, especially those that went through the schools of nursing, because they know how to do the same, but they are not licensed, they've not passed the exam. So some persons will give up and just go back to maybe try to practice what they learned in schools of nursing, but they are not nurses, they are not registered nurses from the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So my final year was hectic too, because you have to read your head out. I can't even tell when you're in year three, you have to sort for your project. We write what we call case study, so or client care. You have to pick a client in the hospital, study the client and write about the client, and your project is here for you to write. You have your end of year three exams to write. You have your pre-council, there's what we call pre-council exam, that's the second exam you're writing in year three. Then you have the final exam, which is the overall exam, council exam, where you know that it's people in Abuja that are setting these exams, and you don't know where the questions will come out from. So you have to read from your year one, from your PTS till your year one, your year two, your year three. You have to comb your textbook, and you know that our courses are always voluminous. We have the anatomy, we have the physiology, we have mexology, the disease condition part of what you study as anatomy. So there are a whole lot of things that you need to read and cover up, so that if you see it in council exam, you have to know what is happening recently, because there is how council used to take their exams. They will pick up a particular thing, maybe a disease condition like the COVID-19 that just passed. The set that wrote that year, that question came out about the COVID-19 situation. So you have to know what is happening around you. You have to read wide. So that was another challenge too. But we got, all things are possible. We sailed through that.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. I believe you can get me very well, right? Debbie's house, thank you so much
Yes.
for connecting. We're just passing through a bit of challenge with network over here. Thank you so much for checking by. I'm so grateful, okay? It means a lot to me. All right, on this very nice live stream or this very moment, we're actually discussing on job satisfaction, and then we're trying to get other professionals' perspective on that topic, job satisfaction. So for this night, we're having a nurse with us. She's a nurse midwife. So we want to get from our own aspect, our own perspective. So she is giving us how the journey began from the scratch, and then we want to go into the aspect where she has graduated now. That's where we are at the moment. All right, so okay. Oh, sorry. Favor. Yeah, so favor the midwife. England is no comparison to, they are no match at all to Spain, at all, at least for the little time I've given myself to sport. England are no match at all to Spain. All right, now pushing further to when you had graduated, okay? How was the challenge for you to get work? How was the challenge? And then what were your expectations? What were your expectations as to job hunting? What were your expectations? What were your salary? The type of place you want to work? Did you have plan to travel abroad? What was it like for you? And then when you resume, were you paid the amount you expected? How was it like for you?
Okay, I would say when I graduated and I went for job hunting. I could remember we were three of my colleagues were we went to look for at least what would take us out of the house, even if it's to work in a private sector. Because for you to just be a nurse that a well paying a well is here in Cross River. Here in Cross River because here in Cross River people don't really value what is working here for them are the auxiliary nurses. I would say those that are not registered nurses. Most private sector prefer to work with the auxiliary nurses because they know that those are not registered nurses that will not come with a price tag, or will I say price tag, or will not come to negotiate what they are to be paid. Maybe that one you can tell the person this is what I'll pay you. And so to get a nice job here in Cross River is very very hard, I would say, because you won't see someone that will pay you higher than a 50,000 naira. So we just needed something to just let us practice, let us put our hands on deck. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. I can.
Okay, we're looking for what
Don't
could
don't be
help
carried away
us.
by the network. Okay? Don't be carried away by the network. At the end of the day, when they want to rebroadcast the posting, it will be.
Okay, okay,
Don't be carried away by whatever the network is doing now. When I rebroadcast
okay,
the, like I repost.
okay, no problem. I get
Exactly.
you. So,
Exactly.
as I was saying, we're looking for what could just allow us work, like practicalize what we've learned in school and not just to just learn and store and keep in our brains. We wanted to bring it out. So to me, we were not looking at the pay, but at least something that could fetch us our transportation and also something that could fetch us a remaining part for us to take care of ourselves at the moment, because we know that right now we are looking for a stepping stone. What we want to achieve in future is not what we have right now, and we know the state we find ourselves. We won't get what we are looking for. You search all over, you will not see. Like I said earlier before, you won't see a place that will pay you more than a 50k, except you're going to be working in a federal hospital. But for private sectors, at most, let's say 60 or 70,000 naira for a start. So to me, I wasn't looking for a place to pay me a huge amount of money at the moment, but I was looking for a place where I could learn more, I could be exposed more, I could stand on my own to do a particular procedure without being on supervision or without supervision, without being anxious or without being scared that you're with a patient all by yourself. Hello, I hope you can hear me. Hello.
Is it better at your end now?
Yes, did you hear what I said? Because your network took you off.
It being this bad at all. I've not seen it being this bad at all. This is my first time encountering this. Like,
Sorry, sometimes I like that. So
I've not exactly. And if it goes off again, we may just have to call it.
no, no problem.
I believe it's perfect at your end now, right?
Yes.
So, you were
So
saying
as I was
something
saying
earlier.
earlier
Sorry for
before,
putting it.
yes, I to me, I wasn't looking at the moment I just finished. I wasn't looking at a huge sum of money as a salary because I know definitely where the state I find myself, you won't see a place except you're working in a federal sector like the teaching hospital of a particular state that you get a reasonable amount that you're being paid. But for the private sector, you won't see any place that will pay you more than a 70,000 naira or so. I don't know if there is, but I've searched here where I am. I haven't seen, but I know for other states, you will definitely see someone that is just a registered nurse that can be paid at least 100 or 90 or 80,000 naira upward. But for Cross River, I don't know what's the problem right here. But so to me, I wasn't looking at the pay for now. I was looking at where I could learn the more. I was looking at where I could get experience the more to build up my resume. I was looking at a place where I could be with a patient alone, carrying out a procedure with confidence and with or without supervision of anybody. So that was my main focus right now. Though we still have a dream of traveling out because the satisfaction of job right here in this our country is not welcoming at all. So it's a gradual process, one step at a time. So that's where we are today.
All right, thank you for sharing. Talking about, you mentioned two areas which I pick up interest in, and I will start with the first one, talking about salaries. People have this mindset that if you're into certain profession, then your salary is not that bad. Like at least it's better. You shouldn't be complaining when other persons are complaining. For instance, for instance, if you're a medical doctor, people believe that your salary is earning in good millions of naira. I don't know if you are, let's say, a pharmacist, your salary is that big. Then some people also believe if you are a nurse, nurses are paid very well. Nurses are paid very well. Some also believe if you are a lawyer, you earn very big. I've seen barristers who are struggling. Yes, at least from my little experience, I've seen barristers who are struggling. I've seen doctors who are struggling. I've seen a couple of them. But let me know from your perspective, what the people's view, the wider population, their view as to the take home salary of nurses compare to the reality. How is it like? What would you have to say in that regard?
There's a very big difference between the reality and people's view on what nurses are earning because the reality here in Nigeria we are is different from what people view what nurses are supposed to earn because I don't know what is the challenge that nurses are not valued. Let me say that are not valued in their own country. That you see why you see a lot of nurses itching to travel out. Even those that have worked for several years, like our seniors, are traveling out. They don't want to do it anymore right now because what they put in is not what they get out. You work for a whole number of years, you will not get promoted, You work in a unit for a whole number of months, you are not satisfied with your environment, you're not satisfied with your pay, you're not being valued. Because I would say the nurse is the ward manager, is the ward owner. You own the ward, because we do continuity of care as a nurse. We do continuity of care. The doctor will just come in, look at the patient. Okay, this is what maybe schedule for surgery. Yeah, they want to prepare the patient for surgery. Sometimes the doctor does not even explain the kind of surgery. Some will explain. You are the one to come and allay anxiety from the patient. Tell the patient, oh, do not take this at heart. This is going to go out well. You're the one that is going to talk to the relative. You're the one that is going to talk to the patient. You prepare the patient for surgery. If the patient is going to be on new per oral, like not taking anything through mouth, but through IV, like through drip, you're the one to do that. You monitor the vital signs, you monitor the fluid chart, you prepare the person. So physically, medically, mentally, you're the one doing every work. The doctor will just come prescribe, okay, you've done this fluid, this one is not working, we've not seen any progress, change to this other one, sign and goes, give prescription. You're the one to carry it out. If the person does not eat, sometimes nurses go ahead that they will pull out money from their own pocket to make sure a patient is able to eat and take his or her drugs. So you can see that with all these sacrifices, with all this, nurses are not still valued in our country. Please don't get me wrong. Sometimes we do this because we have passion to do it, because you cannot be in a ward and you have the money in your pocket and you see your patient dying. You are not there. If you don't have passion for the work, you will not be willing to give it out. If you don't have the heart for you to do it, you won't do it, because some patients will come, their relative will abandon them in the hospital. You as the ward manager, as the nurse, you're the one to make sure it's either you take care of that patient to a peaceful death, or you take care of that patient for the patient to be alive. So a whole lot of work. Nurses are the one that do everything, I would say. So they are not being valued. So when people say that nurses, when they say, ah, you're a nurse, oh, you're very, very rich. My dear, that is not how it is, because they say you where they shoe. Now you know where they paying you. So we that we are into the sector, we are into the nursing profession, we know where it's itching. That's why you see a lot of persons looking for a way to travel out, because over there in other countries, nurses are being valued, they are being taken care of. Their incentives or their salary, what you work in, you work for 12 hours, you're paid for your 12 hours. You work for 24 hours, you're paid for your 24 hours. What you're getting is what you are being you take out. There is nothing like they are owing you. Nobody owes you over there. But here in Nigeria, you can see somebody in a private sector, someone will be owing you for 3 months, for 4 months. Like what? What's the meaning of that? You try your possible best to come to work 8 o'clock. Sometimes morning duty, you're supposed to close by 2 p.m. You're going by 4, 5. The person coming to take over from you is coming late. You're supposed to resume nights, and the person that is going to take over from you is not coming early. So you see all those sacrifices, but they are not being held at high esteem. So that's why you see a lot of us trying to venture out to, like, some persons will go out to work at least to make the money, then come back and invest here, maybe do another, open their own pharmacy or open their own maternity home, okay, in order to, like, okay, let me come and invest in my country, or let me come and invest in my state. But some persons immediately they japa, you will not see them again, because they know that their services are not valued, their time are not valued, and everything they do, people are not putting effort to, like, say thank you for coming out, for being that survivor to a patient.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. I think you have said a lot. You have said a lot, and I was just going to pick a few more, and then because the time and the network that was actually giving us issues earlier, we will not keep you for so long. Okay. So, but let's see the next aspect I was talking about. Certain professions they tend to suffer with what we call quackery. So um, I know nursing is not left out. Let me know your own view on that aspect of quackery.
I think quackery is even more in this profession because, like I said earlier before, for you to become a nurse, first you have to go to a school that has been recognized and has been accredited by the Nursing and the Midwifery Council of that particular country. Like now in Nigeria, we have Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. In the UK, we have their own Nursing and Midwifery Council of the UK. So for you to be a nurse, first of all, you have to enroll in a school that is accredited by the Nursing and Midwifery Council of that particular country. You pass through the school, you write the exams that is expected of you. We call it the council exam at the end, and you're being certified as a nurse because you have a license you have to practice with. But a lot of persons that at the cost of them going through nursing school, maybe their first 6 months, because that first 6 months, definitely you'll be sent on a clinical posting for you to go and have an observation, learn how to do some certain things. So during that first 6 months, they can give injection, they can take vital signs, they can give medication. At that first year in nursing, there's some person that are as sharp as that. And you see yourself, you don't pass the first 6 month exam. You go to another school, you don't pass the first 6 months exam. How to give injection, because somebody knows how to give medication, because somebody knows how to set line. Everybody will start calling the person a nurse. The person will just open a chemist. Another thing is the person has time didn't make it, written the council exam the second time, didn't make it, written the third time. There's what we call refreshers course. You have to go for refreshers course to come back and write again for your last time. And if you write this last time and you don't pass, you are not entitled to write again. And you see somebody writing the council exam and the person doesn't make it, the person gives up. So that's where quackery comes in, because you definitely know everything about in this nursing. You can give injection, you can set line, you can monitor a patient. Some persons will go ahead that because they are not registered nurses, they open their own chemist, they open their own maternity home and start functioning as quacks. And another thing, you see people that are these pharmacists or chemists training people. Somebody will say, I'm bringing my child, doctor, because people that own chemists now, you see, they call them these patent homes. People are calling them doctors. Doctor, please, I have headache. And you turn around and see the person that they are calling this doctor. This person hasn't gone to the medical field, to school, hasn't gone to the university. The person is just owning a chemist and can treat maybe a little cut, a little wound, pour. There's what we call GV, this iodine, put gauze and put plaster or put red. They have, I don't know what they call red, whether red and yellow capsule, and the person will plaster the wound. That's the person. They start calling the person doctor, and that's where quackery comes in. Someone will bring his or her child. I could see, we see a lot of posters, and to myself, I'm always very angry because you pass through a lot of stress. The school fees you pay, so many things, and you see somebody who just go to a chemist and they'll just tell the person this is how to give injection, this is how to do this. The person does not have a scientific rationale to why the injection is being given at that site, why this particular drug is working for this particular illness. There is no scientific thought to this person. The person is just being shown the practical plan, and boom, the person is being called a nurse. Everybody that owns a chemist in a particular locality is called manus. So quackery in nursing is so great. I don't know how the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria is going to fight that, because it has been a very big headache to we that are professional nurses. You see an auxiliary nurse fighting with you in the private sector, you that is a Nigerian nurse having envy over you. Why will you come and earn more than me? Why will you come and do this? And you say, what do you know what I passed through? Do you know the money I sunk in to become a registered nurse? You've not gone through that. Do you know the discipline? Do you know the exams I write? Do you know how I soak my legs in water in order to wake up and my eyeballs are bulging out? Looking for so quackery is so much. It's 100% in nursing, so I don't know for other sector because but quackery in nursing is 100%, and we need to fight it. I don't know how the nursing and midwifery council is going to do because it has to be fought. We have to put an end to it. We have to stop these chemist people from just teaching people these stuffs, and at the end we are being looked at as if us that we went to school or that us that we went to university, we are dummies or we don't know what we are doing. Why didn't I just go to a chemist? So we need to fight this. Quackery in nurses is so much, and it's not funny at all. It's not funny at all. It's a fight to we registered nurses.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. I think you have said a lot. Just another one you hit on that maybe we'll just have to create a balance on that aspect. Okay. So with every profession, they have their own part. And yesterday, while we're discussing, I mentioned an aspect that has to do with the job satisfaction. There are a lot of factors we look or we consider to say if that individual is actually deriving job satisfaction, ranging from the remuneration, the social aspect, that's in terms of interaction or let me say interaction and association with other colleagues at the place of work. Then we also have that of work life and then a professional balance. Then you also look at the aspect of growth, if you're actually growing as an individual. So a lot of things are put into consideration when we talk about job satisfaction. Okay, so on this other aspect where you hit, you're talking about that most there's a nurses spend most time with the patient, they do virtually everything and so on. I think that boils down to job description. The doctors, likewise every other professionals, they also have what to do. They have where they do their own aspect. They talk with the patient and so on. They try to prepare the patient ahead. Although, just as I said, every profession have their job description and they have their role to play. They have each time for which they will actually counsel the patient and so on. Earlier on, I heard there was a word that's like, okay, the nurses own the ward while the doctors own the patient. Okay, there's a word like that. But I just want to create a balance there. Like every profession have their description, but now be um, going a bit deeper. There's this thing there is aspect I used to hear. I don't know how it is with facilities as at your own locality. I don't know how it is. These doctors, nurses fight. Then these tussle and so on and so on. What do you have to say in that regard?
I think it depends on the institution, the doctors and the nurses. Like, depends on the institution. Like the private sector I was working, I didn't see anything like that. I've not had such experience, but I've been hearing people having issues. They say this doctor is, how will I say it, downgrading the nurses, and like a story that even when we were going for clinical posting as student nurses then, when you come, the in charge will tell you you're the one in charge of the ward. You have to stand your ground. Don't allow any doctor to wave you about and be sending you on an errand. You're not an errand girl. That those in those days, as we were taught in school, that then doctors will want to do a procedure and finish, and it's the nurses that will carry the buckets or the basin or the in stuff for them to wash their hands, and that was then during Florence Nightingale's time, because Florence Nightingale is the mother of nursing. And that was her time. That as nurses right now, we are just like doctors. Yes, that's what they will tell us. You have to stand your ground. You have to be confident. yourself. You are not a dummy for you to pick a nursing form for you to become a nurse, pass through exam, and you are in this final year or you are progressing. That's to show you that you can do it. So you're not to be trampled upon by doctors. So that mindset already in school, and then you also you know what you are looking for, you know what you came into the nursing profession to do. You will not allow anybody to intimidate you because the doctors, the roads jam, you wrote jam, they wrote exams, you wrote exam, they have their professional exams, you have your professional exams, they do assignment, you do assignment, they do research, you do research, they take care of their patient, you do client care. So there is nothing literally the doctors do that you don't do, except we have different fields. What we are studying is different from what they are studying, but the doctors cannot do without the nurses, and the nurses need the doctors to work, the doctors need the nurses to work. That is just it. Because nurses are seen everywhere. We have different specialties in this nursing. If the scrub nurse is not there in the theater, for example, the doctor cannot work. That is just it. The surgeon will not be able to carry out the procedure if there is no scrub nurse in the theater. So the doctors need the nurses to work. Yes, if the doctors prescribe anything for a patient, if the nurse is not there to carry out this medication, that patient will not carry out that will not take that medication. So the doctors need the nurses to work. The nurses
I
need
think
the
that's
doctors to work.
exactly. Yeah,
So
blessing. I think that's why I emphasize that we need to look at job description, okay? We need to look at
that's what
job
I'm saying
description.
now.
So job description is what would make most of these differences, okay? It doesn't mean that doctors don't do what they are supposed to do or doctors are not contributing their own quota, whereas you spend greater percent of the time. But it takes a lot to clock even a single patient and so on. And in fact, you know the Nigerian system, I believe you are conversant with it, where you have one doctor as to 500 patients, or I don't even understand where I'm going. So
Yes, I
everybody
understand where
has
you're
their job
going.
description, and they have exactly they have the number of hours stated for everyone to work and so on. So you wanting to see a doctor 100% the time in the facility and so on, then that is just like saying we should do away with the nurses and let the
No, I'm not
doctors
saying
be the
that.
one to
I'm
come
not
out.
saying that the doctor should be 100% in the facility. I'm just trying to tell you that we are working as a team. Yes, it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. That's the
Exactly.
right language.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
it's a teamwork.
Exactly.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to say that we are doing more than them or they are doing more than us. It's a teamwork. We need each other. We need each other to nurse this patient that we know that this will survive to a. So we need each other. It's a teamwork. So I haven't encountered any discrimination yet, or but I've been hearing people having this discrimination as far as doctors discriminating them as nurses, or sometimes they have to stand their ground to show the particular doctor that is bringing out this attitude that they know what they are doing as nurses and they are confident in what they are doing. But for me, I haven't experienced now.
All right. I think there is an idiom that says that when two elephants engage in a fight, what suffers is the ground. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So tussle, this power tussle, it has an implication with job satisfaction.
Yes, it does. Because there is how you have a misunderstanding with a doctor and you're supposed to carry out a procedure for a patient. And if you're not somebody that is patient or somebody that you talk to yourself, you flare up, you can pass the aggression to your patient if you're not careful. Like you can mistakenly give your patient the wrong medication at the right side because at that moment you're not calm, you're angry, so it will really affect your job, this thing, your work at that particular moment. It will really affect your patient also. Something that mean for you to be aggressive to your patient, you become become aggressive if you're not able to control yourself. So as a nurse, you have to have self control, because left, right, and center, even patient relative will make you angry. Patient relative will
I
step
think
on
you
your
just you
toes.
just went exactly. You just went a step ahead of what I wanted to ask next, because I've heard this story of a patient relative or patient themselves even beating up the healthcare professionals, either the doctor, the nurse, and so on. More frequently, the nurses. So I wanted to know your perspective also on that aspect, how it affects job satisfaction. And then there are cases where sometimes the patient might even be the one to win the case against you, and so on. So okay, go ahead since you're already on that discussion.
That's what I'm saying, because you're working with human beings from different family background, from different beliefs. So as a nurse, you have to fit yourself into this different belief that your patient believes, or their family background, to see their own perspective. So you will not just say because they come to the hospital to meet you and they need your assistance, you have to be harsh on them. So patient relative can be provoking. You want to carry out a procedure on a patient, you tell the patient relative, please ma, please sir, please, we need you out of the ward or out of the patient room, we want to do this. And you see a patient relative challenging you and say, no, I must be there, this is my, I must be there. You tell the person, please, hospital policy, or you're not supposed to be there. It's not how will I say, it's not nice, it's not good for you to see this procedure when it's being carried out. It's going to be, it's that are supposed to be there. You see a patient relative. If you're not patient enough, at that point in time, you can you can be aggressive. You can even want to beat the patient relative. You can even want to slap or do anything, and that will not be nice. It will not tell very well between the patient will not see you as a good person. Say, ah, this kind of nurse, this is how you're treating my relative. So how will you even treat me? So that will affect our job satisfaction at the moment. So patient relative could be itchy at sometimes, but you have to control yourself. Ah, even the Bible says, "For the fruit of the spirit is love, kindness, patience, long suffering." So, sorry, I'm a Christian. I cannot talk one thing without putting without putting God's word, because that is
All right.
that is our guide. So we have
Okay,
to use
sorry,
the word
sorry,
of God
please.
also.
If I may ask, have you had an experience where you faced that altercation that comes from the patient? Have you ever experienced it?
Yes, I've experienced from the patient relative, but I had to do I had to become an, how will I say it, an expert in explaining why the patient relative should not be there, because I'm this kind of person that I try my possible best to like fit in any environment I find myself, whether it's conducive or not. So we learn every day. Nobody's a jack of all trade. We learn every day. So even if you know your procedure, you know your rights. We have patient rights too. We have patient relative rights too. So you have to extend their rights and make sure their rights correspond with your own rights as a professional for you to carry out your procedure. So I've experienced that. So some the last one I experienced, I had to just, the patient relative was just talking. I had to just leave the room for a while. We had to talk on her own, talk with her relative. And now came later when everything was calm for me to carry out the procedure, to tell her and explain the reason why she should not be in the room. So there are some points you just let them be for a while. Allow them to just, you don't follow. You say when somebody is angry, one person has to keep quiet. You don't have to two, like you said before, when two elephants fight, the grass suffer. So if me and the patient relative is fighting, it's the patient that will suffer it, or it is me that will suffer it. So you have to be patient sometimes with some relative. You have to have this patience, you have this love for your work, because if you don't have passion for this work as a nurse, there are some certain things that you'll be provoked to do. But when you see that you're doing this for humanity's sake, you're doing this because you have love for your patient, you're doing this because you have the passion for your work. It's not everybody that is in the hospital that they wish they were in the hospital. Some circumstances brought them there. So you have to put your you have to have empathy. That's the word. Empathy for your patient, empathy for the person that you're taking care of. So that is it.
Okay, so what's if I may ask, what's your greatest demotivation when it has to do with practice as a midwife? What's your greatest demotivation?
Okay, my greatest motivation is to receive someone.
Demotivation, demotivation,
Hello, can you hear me? You say?
demotivation. Yeah, I get you. What demotivates you? What kills your motivation? What's your greatest, the greatest factor? Yeah, that kills your motivation. Demotivation. Yeah.
Okay, that
What's your
kills
greatest demotivation?
motivation. Okay, kill
Exactly.
motivation. I think
In your
is
practice.
when you don't have a good work environment, it kills motivation because this work is not all about having a good pay. You can have a good paying job, but your environment is not conducive. Yes, the environment you're working is not conducive. The colleagues around when I say
Hello, seems your network have gone off again. Seems your network have gone off. So, my viewers out there, I'm so grateful to have you. You people are a great family. Thank you, Favor the Midwife, for still having you here with us. The network earlier was not favorable, and it seems it's a bit better now compared to earlier. So, we're more or less just seeing how to forge ahead, and so we can repost it for those persons who may be coming across the very video so that they will catch up with what was discussed. I know it will be tiring to reschedule this thing. So thank God it's a bit better compared to earlier. Okay. So we're discussing trying to get the perspective of a nurse midwife, and she is sharing her experience. She started from telling us while she was in school, and then here when she is already a graduate, and then want to see if she's actually getting deriving satisfaction from what she is actually doing. So I think we want to glimpse from her experience. So she has told us ranging from the patient factors to staff-related factors, that's co-workers. So where she shared with us the area of power tussle, she shared with us the area of extreme responsibility to carry out, and then not getting that same how would I put it, recognition for what you are actually doing. And then for the aspect of patient nurse relationship, she's also telling us that some of the encounter with the relative, it needs more of emotional intelligence to actually handle them, because at some point you'll be pushed to the wall where you are trying to put in your best, and then someone is giving you that negative vibe, someone is killing your motivation, and you are not finding the passion, or you're losing the passion for even pushing further. So that it takes a lot of maturity to still continue, not minding all these factors. Thank you so much. Cynthia Ugochi is here. Oh, thank you so much, Cynthia, for having you here. Tasha, thank you so much for having you here. God bless you. The network is the greatest challenge of lately. The network is the greatest challenge. So we're having Blessing with us. She's a nurse midwife. She was sharing with us her experience. So we hope to have her back again so we can see how to wrap up as soon as possible. So job as we have said from the beginning of this very series, job satisfaction simply entails that psychological state, that emotional state, where one derives satisfaction in what him or her is doing, or he or she is doing as it relates to their work. Okay, so there are certain factors or areas we'll look into before we talk about the aspect of job satisfaction. One has to do with the staff relationship. Is the staff relationship very, or is it fine? That's the social aspect. Is there room for growth, for professional growth? Is there room for that? Is there room for remuneration? Is it a better, do you have a better pay? So some persons are working where the pay is not even encouraging, as I once said, that of lately the take home is not even enough to take anyone home again in certain quarters of the globe. And also, we also talk about the work-life balance as well as the work-life and professional life balance. There are persons who their work have taken so much of their time that they even struggle to even connect with their relative as well as other persons. So those are some of the areas job satisfaction anchors on. And then job satisfaction also anchor on the aspect of giving you the time to grow professionally. And then recognition. That's why certain settings or organizations have set up things to recognize, for instance, the most hardworking staff, to recognize the most beautiful staff, the well-dressed staff, and so on and so on. They even create opportunity. Thank you so much, Cynthia. She said I can relate. They even create room to see, okay, the how will I put it, the most punctual staff and so on. So while glimpsing also from different professionals, we heard that of the business educationist as of yesterday. She gave us her own rundown of her own experience, where she say from the point where she was even enrolling for that very profession, that very career, she lost the motivation because the country itself wasn't encouraging enough to allow persons who have passion in different areas to pick up. Of lately, it's even better that you even write jam and in one sitting you have gotten it. A couple of us, for instance, myself, I know how many times I wrote jam before I got it. So a couple of us out there struggle just to then after trying, there are persons who after trying one, two, three, 4 times and they didn't get what they want. At the last attempt, they will just say, Omo, let me just do anything at all that comes up. From that point, your job satisfaction will be questionable because you're already finding yourself where you are not deriving passion. You're already finding yourself at that point where you're not deriving passion. And then there are persons also in other quarters where, even though, thank you so much, Tasha, thank you so much. So there are persons also who they may not be deriving that passion because it is not what they want. But when they now come into the practice, when most of them even towards the last phase where they're about graduating from school, just as we heard our speaker yesterday said, she said she picked up the motivation as at the point where she was in her final year. But compared to her CGPA, it was already too late. It was already too late. So there are persons who will still pick up passion, or some will even pick up passion in practice, and then they just have to, I'm already here. What can I do? So they just have to continue that way. So those set of person now coming onto the place of practice, you now find out that there are a lot of factors, as we mentioned earlier. There are staffs who, for instance, instead of them promoting you, they are rather looking for how to pull you down. That also can demotivate you. It can demotivate you. So imagine yourself being in settings where all they do is just gossip, 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 gossip. What do you expect from that? Imagine working with a boss who is actually toxic. All he would do is only seeing your flaws, only seeing what you are not doing right. So Tasha said the same thing almost happened to me. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, a lot of persons are there out there. They never got what they wanted. In fact, what they studied is not what they ever dreamt at all. It's not what they dreamt. A lot of persons out there are passing through that very challenge. So you don't have these staffs, they are there, they will just want to pull you down and so on, or maybe jealousy is among them. So those factors are factors that determines this issue of job satisfaction. And then you have, as I yesterday, there are bosses whom what they want to do is to get the best hand at the cheaper rate. What do I mean by that? You see a boss who wants to pay you 50,000 naira, for instance, and then wants you to do the work of 4, 5 different professionals. So so they want you to do the job of 4, 5 different. So for instance, you see someone who is a cleaner, the same person is a receptionist, the same person is the gate man, the same person is the gate. Oh, I don't even know which one to use to classify. One person will be doing 3, 4, 5% tasks at the same time. All these factors, all these factors at the long run, determine if you are going to derive satisfaction on that very job you are actually finding yourself. So I think Blessing is back. So Blessing, so sorry for the network that pulled you off. I believe you are here now and you can.
Yes, I can get you clearly.
Getting a bit on the aspect of um, 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 issues between staff, and then wanted to push a bit further. So to sorry for that. Sorry, I think your network is still a bit draggy. All right, when she come up again, we'll continue from where she stopped. Okay. So, beside that, what we have said, beside all those points, there are also that aspect where, for instance, the military. I think, yeah, I have a couple of military friends who may want to hear their perspective. Who may want to hear their perspective. There are military personnel who had that bigger dreams that let me just enroll in this career. Maybe someday I'll go back to school, I'll go back to do this, I'll go back to study this. And you find out that you are just stagnated. If you look at a couple of military personnel, you find out that some spend 15 years of their life without upgrading their CV, without upgrading their CV. I don't know if anyone out there can relate with that. Let us know in the comment box. There are a lot of military personnel. Uh, so why that even boils down to why we're having this very discussion. Yesterday I say if you know you don't, even our speaker yesterday advised, if you know that you don't like a particular field, you don't want it, please don't just venture into it. Go into the course or a career that you find passion in. Major in a career that you find passion in so that you won't lose the motivation, that motivation from the inception, so that you don't lose it from the inception. So we have a lot of them like that. They had that bigger, that wild dreams of what they are going to do, academic wise or professional wise, once they get into the military setting. But just when they get in, some 9 years, some 15 years, they are not even opportune because there is no time. There's no time. How much of the time do they get? For instance, the annual leave, for instance, how much of it is given to them to even to go back to school? How many of the military personnel can you handpick, especially for those who are the rating level? Let's say okay, the officers at least some of them, because they are the superiors or the supervisors, they can even have time to enroll on maybe online courses or maybe 6 month courses and so on. Let's talk about those who are the rating level. How many of them can you point out to say that this one, the first after the first 2 years, the first 3 years at least, he was able to how many of them? So those are some of the things this very discussion is looking at, that you should be able to learn from people's experiences so that if you want to make, because this very channel is a coaching center, it's a life coaching center. So these are some of the areas that we're trying to push so that if you want to make a decision as it relates with career, you don't make that very mistake from the inception. So that there is this joy that comes in when you find yourself doing what you love doing. There is that joy that comes in. There is that joy that comes in when you find yourself in a setting where you can put in your own quota, your own contribution, and it is being appreciated. There's this quota that comes in there. This quota that you work, you want people to at least recognize you. So, Blessing, I think you're back. We won't stay so long again. I think you're back now. I think you're back now. All right. So let me ask this very question. Let me ask this very question. For your job, do you think your job as a nurse gives you time to grow professional wise? Do you think so? Let us know your own opinion in that respect. Do you think nursing gives her members that very opportunity to grow professional wise? What do you have to share in that regard?
Sorry, please can you ask the question again because network is your voice is breaking.
All right. Can you get me clearly? Is it better at your end?
Yes, I can get you clearly.
All right. So, as we earlier said, job satisfaction anchors on certain areas which we have mentioned. All right. So, one of it is the aspect of professional growth. One of it is growing professionally. So, do you think your job gives much of that allowances to grow professionally? What's um your view on that aspect? Let's hear from you as a nurse. Do you think that nursing gives you that room to grow professionally?
Okay, nothing is growing white, not like the olden days or like before. But in the recent times, research has been, and also workshops, seminars. If you're working in a place where knowledge in the field of nursing, so nursing has helped in nursing a lot are growing in their field, in their profession, because workshops will be organized, seminars will be organized for you to go for to update yourself in a particular thing that pertains to your profession. So it gives us a wide range for us to go.
Acting up again. I think her network is acting up again. So sorry for that, Blessing. So sorry.
Okay, so I was saying a lot has changed in the nursing profession.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. So let's push a bit forward. Okay, okay, okay. So that means what if I should understand you better? You mean that a lot are changing in the sense that you are given much of the privilege compared to earlier to grow professional wise, right? Now, let me ask this: there are a lot of nurses
Yes.
out there there are a lot of nurses out there that needs to catch up with two, three, four, five jobs just to just to grow financially and so on. So looking at the aspect of individual and work-life balance, individual and work-life balance, if you must do four, five jobs just to catch up financially, how do you balance that private life, that individual aspect, and then the professional wise? How do you balance it? Let us know your view on that regard.
It depends on an individual. If you choose to work in two or three places because of the income, and that is really seen here in our country, I don't think the highest someone can work if the person is outside is just two places, because and the pay is good also. So if you're working in a place that pays you so well, so why will you go and stress yourself? I know we Nigerians, we are being trained in the hard way. We want to 24 hours because we've seen the money. No, you have to cut your coat according to your size. You have to move in accordance to how your strength can carry you. If you are capable of working in two places, then why not go ahead to work in two places to make your living? Because right now the economy is not inviting, is not well. You're a family person, you have children to take care of, you have relatives that are looking up to you, who you're sponsoring. So you have to meet up with all. It depends on an individual for you to catch up with your private life and also with your professional life, to work in a place that fits you, that will give you the time. Some persons, but they get a great pay out of their they are being um, paid greatly. So you what works for you and you run with it, because nobody will come and um talk to you and say, okay, come and work in five places because you want to earn a living. You have to take care of yourself, not because you want to be a nurse, you want to earn well, you have to go and die in the profession. If you die, the profession continues. You come will be invoked and you will miss out of it. So it's an individual, it's a personal decision for you to take as an individual.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I from your how will I put it, your opinion right now, I tend to perceive something like multi streams of income. I tend to perceive something like that. I I don't know. Do you think that nurses have that luxury of time to engage in other finance generating activities, or or there is no time like that given to them? And do you think that, okay, maybe earlier you, if I was to deduce from what you were saying, Nigeria as a system, Nigeria as a system cannot give you that state of financial independence, cannot give you that very state. So if you are to be outside, do you mean that yes, it's possible you can actually work at one place and then that one place is okay with you? So let me get your opinion on those two regards, okay?
Yes, I think you can actually work at one place if you are not working in Nigeria for the pay to be okay with you. Like I said earlier, the hours you work for, that is what you're being paid for. As you're being paid for 5 hours, they are doing, they stick to their plan and the job description that you're being given and what you are being paid. So there is no how you work for 12 hours and you're being paid for 10 hours and the 2 hours is just gone. No, they keep to their word. If you're being paid for your 12 hours, if you work for 3 hours, you're being paid for your 3 hours. So you can decide to work in a place and no problem. If you want to work in two, no problem. Tell you what to do. You know what works for you. You know your strength. You know your weakness. You know how far your strength can. So another thing, venturing into other. We have a nurse as a speaker. We have a nurse as an event planner. There are other things that you can profession. That is it. We have a nurse as a. There are some persons that are therapists. They do that work outside their nursing profession, outside the hospital setting. We have nurses that, so the world is so wide that it's not just the nursing profession you can venture into. You can do another thing as far as you know how to cut your onions, you know how to schedule yourself, because it's tasking to be a nurse. So there is how you can schedule yourself and you still function as a nurse and as another person in another field.
All right, thank you for that opinion. Okay. Now, you know that job satisfaction also hints on efficiency, right? So, efficiency in the sense that there are machines, there are equipment that makes the work easier for you at least, some energy reserve to use for other things, right? So, let me know your view. Do you think there is any facility within the Nigerian setting that you could say that, ah, this very facility have good equipment, and then people working there will face a bit, compared to other facilities, the rate of burnout will be reduced. And then on the other hand, there are persons who may even be working in settings where this equipment are available, but they can't even utilize it. So you now find out that the burnout may even result from lack of awareness. What's your opinion on those two areas?
Okay, yes, I would say definitely will. I've heard of hospitals, their settings. So there are some hospitals in Nigeria that they have the equipment, they have everything for you to utilize your your work as a nurse. You don't have to have a burnout. They have everything. All you have to do is just learn. As a nurse, you have to be inquisitive. If you're not you've not seen a particular machine before, instrument before, and you have someone that has an age over you, you ask. There is nobody that is above learning, no matter how old you are. A junior person can teach you, a senior person can teach you. So if you find yourself in that environment, you don't have to sit back and say, oh, I'm not conversant with this instrument. Learn. You have to learn. Ask somebody, how do you do this? There is nothing that will be taken out of you if a junior person is teaching you. At the end, you're the one acquiring the knowledge. That's before you arrived there, before you employed. You have done. What do I do? What is my next step to carry out? You see yourself in the next 2 months, you'll be the one teaching the next person that is coming, that is being employed into the facility with a new environment. Can cause a lot of burnout because you want for you to do it, you have to improvise as a nurse because we are taught to improvise. You use the available when the non-available is available for you to use.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. Now, going, someone say, okay, Atai, she was saying die. I don't know if what dialect that would be. Okay. On the other hand, if you were to change one thing in nursing, what would that be?
Okay, if I was to change something in nursing, I think I would change the, how will I say, the way the team works, or the way colleagues as nurses work together. I would say, sorry to say, but nurses, we are nurses, and mainly nurses, not only women, or nurses are men sector. It's not just of recent that you see male nurses, just the female, and it has been the female population in the nursing profession. So it should be this one voice when it comes to the nursing profession. When it comes to the profession, we are going for nothing. We are saying we are standing for. If you're working as a colleague as nurses, we're supposed to work as a team. We're supposed to work in cordiality, tribe, no matter the religion. As far as you're a nurse and you're into the profession, with togetherness, with love.
All right. Thank you for sharing. So, if you were to change three things, what are those three factors that, if they are in place, would give you job satisfaction? Three major factors that, if they were in place, would give you
Working in
job
cordiality,
satisfaction.
okay, work oneness, working in oneness, then in our pay, yes, the hours you get in should be what you pay, conducive for your work. Those are the
All
three
right.
things.
All right. Thank you. Do you think, oh, okay, let me say, what would be your minimum recommendation for nurses in Nigerian system as a salary?
Ah,
What do you
minimum
think should
recommendation
be?
in Nigerian system. For me, hey, because right from school, we don't suffer. We don't pay school fees tire. Some schools you have to you have to pay before you finish. You have to pay up to ₦1 million, even more than before you acquire what you're looking for. Hmm. So you coming out and somebody throwing 30,000 naira to your face, you'll be like, what? What is this? 30,000 naira. My transport is the whole 30,000. So what will I eat? What will I? How will I differentiate it? Or nurse, or someone that has acquired a BAC, a registered nurse, somebody will tell you that I want to pay you 50K. No, it's a no for me. Oh. So the salary I look at first, will that salary take care of your transportation and you're comfortable? Will that salary foot your bills and you're comfortable? Out of that salary, will you have savings? You know what, how you suffered in the nursing school will be fitting to you. What you know you 500K every month, I'm comfortable. If they pay me 700K, I'm comfortable every month. So you know yourself, you know what you pass through, you know the stress and everything. You should know what to put in and what you get out.
So, well, since you say it depends on individual, so what if the person said 20,000 naira is okay? Because the question was, what would you think would be the average?
Me, I think from a 200,000 naira upward. Okay,
And you think that's
a month,
sustainable?
2 years, and you're still paying me 200K. I work I work in a place for 6 years and I'm still paying the amount. There have to be an increase as time goes on.
I comfort a film. I comfort a film. I hope you have subscribed to this very channel. Thank you for having you here with us at this point. God bless you. Well, towards the point where we want to summarize this very discussion, and we're talking about job satisfaction, and then we're interviewing different professionals to hear their perspective on it if they're actually finding satisfaction in what they are doing. So on this very channel, we discuss on health-related content. We talk on motivational, business related content, educational related content, and then if you are also finding interest in spiritual related, that's religious related content, then this is the right place for you. So if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe. If you're yet to give this very video a thumbs up, what I mean is to like this very video, please, this very live stream, please do so. All right, so it's a 200,000 would be the startup for your recommendation, and I was
Yes,
asking, do you
because
think
I
that's
know the reason
sustainable?
why. Eh? What did you say?
I was asking that is sustainable in this system.
There have to be an increase as time goes on because I could remember the private sector I was working because the person they in charge knows that the economy is growing wilder every day. There was an increase every 2 months. So that's someone that
Wow.
understands your nature. Yes, that's someone that understands you. That's someone that understands the stress you pass through. Like the private sector, you can be the only nurse on duty. So you're literally the only one staying with the patient. So the person there understood what your work is as a nurse, and there was an increase of salary every 2 months, if I'm not mistaken, or every 3 months, what he's doing and what he's looking for. So that is it. So I cannot be a nurse and I work for you the next 1 year and there is no increase in my salary. There have to be increase in my salary. Except if it's not comfortable for me, if that salary is not footing my bill, married and I have a child, I'm expecting a child. I need to look for where I my salary will be enough for me to take care of me, my family, and the child coming. So that is it.
All right. So If you were to be given a second chance, if you were to be given a second opportunity, would you still be a, would you be a nurse? Let us know.
I'll still be a nurse. I'll still want to be a nurse, even in my second life.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. God bless you, Manos. All right. So, what will be your
It's
advice now
not
for my viewers?
manners. It's nurse blessing, not manners.
Okay. So, what will be your recommendation to my viewers out there as regards to the nursing profession, job satisfaction, and everything, just in a nutshell? Do you think nursing is a nice career that you want to encourage someone to come into it? And do you think you find passion enough to motivate people? So let us know in a nutshell. Just let us know what you think about just job satisfaction, the Nigerian system, what it is to be a nurse, what are the requirements, and then what is the right route anyone that wants to go into nursing should take. And then what are the things you should tell the person that will help the person stay on course. And then finally, let us know. Okay, just take those ones first and then you answer the last question and we'll be done. Just one question is left for the night.
Okay, I will say that you have to have passion for what you're going in for, because nursing is those professions that before you get into it, it's not going to be easy. The medical field is not something you joke. Somebody's life is being brought into your hands for you to take care of, like somebody critical. So the nursing profession, that you don't, if you don't have passion for it, I don't encourage you to go for it. Don't go if you priorities how you could save humanity in love, how you could save humanity with your passion, how you could be a philanthropist as a nurse, helping people out of your own will, not you being compelled. Because right in school is going to be hectic. Writing series of exams, attending lectures, like the university sector in other professions. Some person will just stay there, call the colleague, please write my name in attendance. My dear, in the nursing school I went, find out that somebody wrote attendance for you. You and the person will go for it. How strict the school is. My principal will once say, I want to train polyvalent nurses. I want to train people that when you stand out there and they ask you, you mention my name and I'll be proud. This place, we don't take nonsense. Hence, period. You want in a lifetime, or a rare cases that you just saw attending your class and also coming out as a professional nurse. You have to be diligent in your work.
for the network. So sorry for the network challenge. Okay. So sorry. I think we're about wrapping up. Just the last question, and then we're done. So, okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Blessing. All right. The last question. So we'll wrap up. Okay. The last question. Let us know if we're to. Okay. Let us know. How do you feel about this very live stream? How do you feel about it? What will you say about this very live stream? Hope the questions were not so hard on you.
Grateful for you having me in your live stream.
All right. Thank you so much. It was indeed a great moment having you with me and with my viewers on this very live stream. Indeed, it means a lot. And job satisfaction is what everyone out there are struggling for. So we'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing using creating awareness, using social media, using flyers, using seminars, using conferences, and so on, as much as we can until the Nigerian system gets to change and then put into consideration job satisfaction as one of the factor in creating jobs and so on. So it's not just about creating job opportunities, it's also about creating a satisfying and efficient working environment for your staff so that when they come in, not 3 months along the way, just after you got employed, you are now already drained. You just lose that passion that you no longer find that passion of continuing the same job that you were hunting all the while. So I think it was indeed, in a nutshell, a great moment hearing from you. And to my viewers out there, just as she has said, in summary, nursing is a great profession you want to also venture into. Not just nursing, there are other professions you want to go. What I got from her, please take your time, check the career. Just as my viewer yesterday also said, check the career. Check the career. And if it is something you are sure you're not emotionally competent to go into, then don't venture into that very profession. And when you go into it, please go in all, go in all into it with your resource, with your time, with everything, the whole of you. Go into it, put in your best. And then at your workplace, expect that indeed a lot of the motivators will come across to kill that motivation. But keep striving, keep putting in your best. Be creative as much as you can. And we know that someday everybody are growing, they are growing professionally, they are growing individual wise, and so on. You will get to that point where if you're in a country or a place and so on, where you're not being valued or you're not paid well and you're not deriving satisfaction, as long as you keep building that strength, the truth about it, just as my mentor would always say, he said that, and there is a better and greater opportunity out there waiting, but it is not waiting for this version of you. It is waiting for an advanced version of you. So don't be that type that when that opportunity come, you cannot grasp it, or you are not competent enough to fit into that very role. And we believe that when you develop your capacity as she has encouraged us in this very live stream, build your capacity where you are, and someday you will get that very befitting work or job out there. And then you go into it, put in your advanced creativity into it. Then finally, we have also explored that aspect. If you're in a system where the pay is not better, try as much as possible to go into multi-streaming. So do other things to keep yourself busy, adjust your roster and everything. Also, she talked about burnout. Please don't go into 17 jobs just to ensure you catch up. Try to also give yourself time to rest. I think that was what I learned from her. Thank you so much, Blessing, for sharing. It was indeed a great time having you here with us. God bless you. All right, my viewers,
Thank
if
you.
you're at your workplace at this point, I wish you all a calm shift. If you're just setting out for the day, depending on where you're connecting from, I wish you a beautiful time. I wish you a great day, a bright and a beautiful one at that. And then, if you're about to go into bed, I wish you the most lovely night ever. So, do have a lovely night rest. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please, once again, do what to subscribe because this is a channel where it is dedicated to help you grow as individual and professional wise. That's why it's called a life and business coaching center. So it guides you through both from the scratch, from the basis of it, and then to the deeper part of it. You get content as relates with health, you get content as it relates with business, you get content as relates with education, motivationals, and then the religious related content. Thank you so much for being this far, coming this far with me. And if you lost it at any point, there will be a rebroadcast of this very live stream. So do well to check back, like, comment, share your opinion in the comment box, and I'll be glad to have you check back always. For those persons who were here from beginning, I want to give a shout out to Favor the Midwife. Twinny, you have been so helpful indeed. You are a great backbone. You have been so supportive. God bless you for having you in this live stream. Mandy, that's my sister from another mother. Thank you so much for having you here. I'm so grateful. Indeed, I'm so grateful. So, if you're also interested in lifestyle and then health related content, Favor the Midwife, she's a midwife, as the name implies. So, you want to get further details about midwifery related content, then she's a nice blog for you. So, do well to also check up. All you need to do, go to your search icon in your YouTube channel, click Favor the Midwife, and then her channel will come up. So how do you know you're in the right place? She's fair in complexion, and she's fair in complexion, and then you get some things that will tell you that this is a UK practicing midwife. So how you see some of the logos, that's the flag of UK in her background. So those are some of the ways you get to know that that is her channel. Then if you're someone that loves gist enough, you have Mandy. Mandy is there to give you the latest gist you want to get, the latest gist. So we had earlier Tonia, Tonia connecting from Canada. So she'll give you what it looks like over there. So you can also connect to her channel. That's Tonia Agu. Just type in your search icon, Tonia Agu, and you get to connect with her. We had earlier with us, we had she's also into lifestyle, and then beside the lifestyle, confectionaries, kitchen and kitchen related stuffs, and then the general gist and so on. So she'll be a nice blog for you. We had Oge with Oge just connected with us also. So you can connect with Oge too. You can also connect with Favor, um, make money with Favor. So there are nice blogs. You get beautiful content. So do well to connect with all these persons who are mentioned. For this very moment, we have to sign out at this very point. Oge, thank you so much for having you here. It's indeed a great pleasure. We just wrap up the discussion for today. We are going to also create a section where we also have Annie's Kitchen earlier. So Annie's Kitchen, a shout out to her. So you can connect with her to get things as relate with, just as the name implies, Annie's Kitchen, food and so on. You get how to prepare different recipes. So you get that on a channel. There are a lot of things you want to benefit from these persons I've mentioned. So job satisfaction, we'll keep exploring job satisfaction. There are other professionals that will come up. I think the next one might either be an engineer or a military personnel, either engineer or military personnel, a med lab personnel. So do well to keep connecting on this series. There are other series that will come up as we continue. Thank you so much for always connecting. God bless you. I want to sign out at this point. Blessing. Do have a lovely night rest. God bless every one of you for connecting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
appreciate you all. I
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
as
you.
well. God bless you. God bless you. Okay, I'm signing out at this point. Thank you so much.